talk about how Piano and GFR Media work together to drive engagement. So you've heard from C-Sense about identifying the audience and segmenting that audience, and from Parsley about how to identify the content that that audience is most engaged with. And what Piano does is the next step, which is actually take action on all of that data. So we think about the challenge of media in a couple of different ways. You're trying to build your loyal audience, so take those people through the funnel. And they're trying to then drive value for your business by engaging with that audience. So the key part is taking action, and Piano is all about that step of taking action. So you've heard also Matthias talk about some of the key things that you might want to take action on, like newsletter subscribers or registration. Okay. Taking action on newsletter subscribers, registration, event attendance, and so on. Some of the same kinds of things that Matthias talked about. So what Piano does is allows you to take that action, and that's what we do with GFR. Let's see. Here we go. So what does this mean, building direct-to-consumer businesses? So obviously advertising is here to stay. Advertising is still a huge, important part of the media business model. But media companies are discovering that that's not enough. That the business is changing, and that they need to move from a pure sort of mass audience attention-based model. And again, you heard C-Sense talk about this, or Parsley talk about this as well, to develop direct consumer relationships. So we help the top media companies in the world add to their ad business, improve their ad business, but also bring in new revenue streams. The way that we do that is with a set of tools that put control into the hands of business users so that the marketing team can run those messages, run campaigns on their O&O sites, and take those actions themselves. We also have services that we provide to our clients, so strategic services to help them figure out what their product strategy is, and then revenue optimization services to help them maximize their business. And then we also have a tremendous amount of data. So we have hundreds of websites on our platform. We process thousands of transactions a day, and we track billions of user interactions every month. And that data set gives us insights into what works and what doesn't, and where a particular business may stack up against its peers and competitors. So, brand slide, you saw this from Parsley and from C-Sense as well. Obviously, GFR Media is keeping some very, very good company with the top media companies in the world. So they're pretty far ahead in terms of the way that they're thinking about using technology to power their business and move things forward. So you heard about the funnel. Here's a picture of the funnel. So as we think about it, obviously you have new users coming in. Those new users then come back, ideally. If they're starting to come back more often, they become more loyal, they're regular visitors. And then lastly, potentially they become paying customers. So we enable all of these sort of next actions. The way that we think about it is how can we, and how can our customers nudge users from one stage of the funnel to the next by taking a particular action. And so again, we have tools that can ingest data from C-Sense or from Parsley, or use the segmentation tools that are built into the Piano platform to identify those users who are ready for that next action, and then put a message in front of them at the right time to move them forward. And all of those capabilities can be applied not only on behalf of the media brand, but as you'll see, can also be applied on behalf of marketers and advertisers. So this is data from across all of the piano websites. And you can see that most of the users, so that's nearly 70%, they come once and then disappear. But the valuable users, the folks that are sort of most engaged, are that 12% slice that are loyal. One of the things that we enable is segmenting the user base and understanding who those folks are that are most loyal and most likely to take action. And again, put the tools in your hands to do that. Here we go. So that previous slide was looking at those segments by user. This is looking at it by page views. So you can see that 12% slice, that's the most loyal users, they consume more than half the content. So that's why these folks are so valuable, right? They are your engaged users. They're the ones that are interacting with your brand most often, not only with, of course, the media brand, but then also the advertisers that are present on that media site. So those are the users that you really care about. And those are the ones that are going to end up taking action on behalf of the brand as well. So let's talk a little bit about how GFR has specifically been using the piano website, the piano tools on their website. There we go. So, like 3-4 months after GFR implemented piano, Maria hit. And that was obviously the most significant event in certainly the past year and probably much longer than the past year. So it really meant that GFR needed to start using the piano platform to answer Maria and to deal with Maria. So some of their early experiences were focused on that. So they had just put up their initial experiments around a paywall in June. So in September, obviously they had to take it down. The most important thing was public service and to make sure that the people that needed information about the hurricane were able to get it from their websites. So the area on the page that I just highlighted is the area that is managed with the piano tool. And that's just one of the ways that you can insert messages into a website. You'll see a couple others in a minute. That enabled the team to be able to message the users with a variety of information related to the hurricane. So shelters, emergency phone numbers, and then once the hurricane had passed, to be able to donate, which was appealing not only to people in Puerto Rico but also in the diaspora as well. And you can see that the engagement with these kinds of messages was very, very high. So, significant clip. The other thing that the team did was they realized they needed to make a new product because the communications on the island were so disrupted. One of the key things that they did and then used piano to help promote was to create a light version of their website so people could consume it even if they had a poor connection. So moving on from the hurricane, now at the beginning of this year, they were getting back into beginning to experiment with the commercial side and to see what they could do to try and move the needle on the business. So one of the things that they did was try what we call a soft registration wall. So soft wall means that you could dismiss it. So you didn't have to click that and register in order to access the website. But even though it was a soft wall, they were able to capture a significant number of people who were willing to give their name, give their email address, and connect more deeply with El Nuevo Dia in order to get the information. One of the most interesting experiments that they've done, which connects directly to the commercial and advertising side, was a project with AT&T. where in connection with the launch of the new iPhone 10 and the iPhone 8, they ran a contest. And you had to register in order to participate in the contest to potentially win that $1,000 prize. And so that name, address, email was shared with AT&T. So AT&T got leads. They also built awareness. Beyond the leads, the brand impact was actually quite significant as well. The team did a post-campaign survey to understand what the brand messaging impact was. And you can see these numbers were fantastic, right? 28% had learned about the iPhone launch from El Nuevo Dia. 76% associated that launch with AT&T. 43% said they were highly likely to buy a new phone. And of those, 76% said they were going to buy with AT&T. AT&T also had very, very high brand retention, so likelihood to keep their customers, but then also to steal customers away from another carrier. So it shows the power of that brand partnership using the tools that Piano provides to connect with a brand and an advertiser and move the needle for them as well. This is just another example of another approach to doing registration. So here, instead of that soft registration wall that we had pop up that captured 20,000 people, this was a little bit more of a lighter promotion. That area in the middle was saying, hey, register if you want to get our exclusive guide to the World Cup. That only got 800. So it shows the sort of how we even a soft stop compared with just a notification strategy. And then, of course, also the sort of importance of connecting for information about the hurricane versus connecting for information about the World Cup. So there's some urgency there as well. So I'll just jump forward. So broadly, one of the things that we do is we help drive engagement. So welcome new users or create personalized content. So either using the C-Sense tools or Piano's tools to deliver personalized content. And then also to engage idle users. One of the sort of common habits is you leave a tab open in your browser window, you come back to it, we can recommend new content. So there are ways to sort of drive engagement, and I've talked about just a few of the tools that Piano has to be able to do that. And then, of course, the other key thing we talked about was data capture. So whether that's newsletter sign up or site registration, or even the capability to do progressive surveys and go back and talk to your users again and again and gather more information from them about, say, custom data that you want to collect as part of an ad campaign or as part of a media business marketing campaign. To build that database of information about your users is also one of the capabilities. And built into the tool also is the ability to do split tests and run experiments to see which is performing the best. And again, this capability can be applied either to the media business and its marketing messages or to its partners. And then lastly is the ability to track campaigns in real time and understand the performance, whether it's right now, live, what's happening, or to see that trend over time and spot patterns. So in summary, the partnership between GFR Media and Piano allows us to create deeper engagement, and you heard some of these things from both John and from Matthias. Users who spend more time with the brand, who are more engaged, spend more time with the media brand, and they spend more time with their advertisers. Engaged users are more likely to transact. We used to see this all the time at New York Magazine, that the most engaged users were the ones that were more likely to engage with an advertiser or to purchase a product. And of course, users can engage directly with brand partners in the way that GFR did with AT&T. And of course, you all know that more and more brands are also creating content, which is another way to engage with users. And so finding ways, again, using our tools to be able to put brand content in front of users as well as publisher content is another powerful capability. Then obviously those registration and data collection capabilities create additional opportunities for partnership. And then lastly, and when I was at New York Magazine, we were members of an organization called Digital Content Next, which is the leading trade organization for digital publishers. And we saw data there that showed a clear connection between high quality media content and media brands and higher lift for advertisers, for brand partners in terms of the performance of their campaigns. So more effective ROI, more higher click-through, higher engagement, and so there's definitely a connection there. And